Greetings, fellow humans, and welcome to another live installment of your friendly, scruffy neighborhood JD Estrada. Sorry for the slight delay. I did make up some time on Facebook, but Twitter was interesting. Uh, I've started most of these videos talking about another topic that is getting way too much attention, and I'm not even going to mention in this one. It's related to a knee, and it's related to a much more than a knee, and I get it, and I get that it's important. But I'm doing this video as a private citizen, um, putting his right to freedom of expression to talk about Hurricane Maria and the aftermath and its aftermath in Puerto Rico, because the situation is dire and people aren't talking about it. Here on BookTube, I love this community, but I haven't seen one person talk about it. And being Puerto Rican, it does affect me. And I know everyone has a life. I know people have things to do. And I know people don't want to be sad, and I never want to do anything to make people sad. But I do need help to get any type of traction and information out there. Simply because there's a very drastic situation, and a lot of people don't even have an opinion on that. They're like, "Oh, thoughts and prayers," and they leave it at that. And unfortunately, thoughts and prayers won't save the lives that we need, and we need action, and we need people to keep helping, because people are helping, and we are receiving aid, but we need people to keep helping and keep caring about this topic. So enough of that. So that you understand the scope of the situation of what Hurricane Maria had on Puerto Rico. Take Katrina. Take New Orleans. Now take that situation and put it in the middle of the ocean. Then take a mountain range and put it in the middle of New Orleans with an elevation of about 4,300 feet. And that starts to give you an idea of what's going on in Puerto Rico and why it's so complicated, even a weekend. Now take whatever aid that Puerto Rico can get and limit it because of a law. That's pretty much the situation, apart from the logistical nightmare. Now, the situation on the island is that there are food and supplies arriving to the island, and as a Puerto Rican, I thank you. I thank you to everyone for your contributions. I would request that people don't send us stuffed dolls and clothing at this time, because I'm not even sure they can even accept it. More than just for peace of mind, people want to help. And obviously, it would be a great comfort for a child to have, like, a teddy bear. But if it doesn't even get to the child, then don't send it, because, logistically, it's just going to complicate things. Still, the support has been heartwarming to see how people have mobilized, and people have asked me how they can help. Can they care? Different things. Some people have asked if everyone is getting what they need. The short answer is no. And the reason is the logistical nightmare I mentioned before. Topographically, Puerto Rico is a complicated place. It's a beautiful place, even if it's ravaged, even if it looks like, a nuclear bomb landed in a couple of places. It is a beautiful place. But basically, in the docks, there's over 3,000 containers with enough food for 500,000 people that aren't being mobilized because they don't have truckers. So if you know a trucker that would like to, help a worthy cause and help save lives, then by all means, refer them to their local FEMA office. Puerto Rico could definitely use that. What is needed currently? Right now, the island honestly needs military assistance to coordinate efforts, and the question is, will the island get military assistance? And the answer used to be maybe, and now it's leaning more towards most likely. I've heard that the Army should be mobilized and start distributing on Friday, because I do know people who have been deployed to Puerto Rico. So that's some good news. As for a list of items that you can send, I have shared that on my Facebook page. I will try to get a blog post with information on one blog post that can help other people. In terms of the Jones Act, which is the reason why other countries can't help, The short of it, it is a law that is actually one of the main reasons why there's been so many complications with Puerto Rico. Um, but right now, what matters to the topic is that it is a law that limits the people that can have access to Puerto Rico. That means that people from Cuba and the Dominican Republic that want to help, they can't. That's one of the reasons why they're not coming in. The other reason is because a lot of marinas and ports have either structural damage or other boats were pretty much washed into the ports, and they have to get it out so that they can park. Try to imagine you have an entire parking lot, but there's crashed cars all over it, all over the parking lot. That's pretty much the situation in a couple of ports. Not all of them. San Juan should be fully operational, and there's several others that should be fully operational. There's people appealing for the Jones Act to be waived. I do believe that it can help Puerto Rico a lot. But by all means, don't take my word for it. Look for the information. In terms of food and water, some places are running out of food and water. This is a reality. If you go to any type of convenience store or supermarket, they're running out of inventory. Uh, and other places are so completely cut off that people are using runoff water to drink and to wash their clothes. This brings risks. I've offered information of how to sanitize water in Spanish because people on the island, although bilingual, they're not super fluent, all of them. And people in more affected areas might not have that high of a reading level in terms of English. So just anything that can help them. If anyone finds information in Spanish that I can share, by all means, let me know. In terms of communication, some towns are still cut off a week after the hurricane. That's pretty harrowing to say the least. Some tips that I can offer to people. There's a bunch of tips online of what you can do to your phone to make it work. Every person has had varying results with the tips of restoring to factory settings, putting on roaming, turning on and off, doing a reboot, accessing whatever. There's so many options. But apart from that, one of the recommendations that I've seen that I think can actually be the most effective is to timestamp your text messages. Sometimes you send a text message and the person receives it 3, 4, 5 hours later, and they don't know. People don't know because their communication has been cut off. So, send a brief message and timestamp it with date. If it's really severe, do it with date. If not, to save character space, just put the time and make sure to put PM or AM. There are tips online. By all means, share them with U.S. people, English-speaking people, and Spanish-speaking people. In terms of the airport, the Army set up a second radar. This should help with the situation at the airport. I do believe that Delta Airlines had flights that exited Puerto Rico today. They should be using larger airplanes, so that should help the situation. In terms of the price gouging, which is something that I was asked a lot about, it was supposedly due to automated system responses, basically supply and demand. A lot of people try to look for a ticket, prices automatically go up. That is the explanation they're giving. Apparently, they've rectified that situation and offering $99 tickets off the island. I still don't know one person who has gotten a ticket and taken a flight off with American. But as soon as I find out of one person who does it and not the news, I'll let you know. In terms of the infrastructure, it's pretty much crippled and about $40 billion worth of damage estimated at this time. It used to be 30, it's gone up to 40. And it is looking pretty bad for a lot of areas. In terms of danger, the streets at night obviously aren't safe. It's not a comforting thing to say, but it is a reality, and not a reality everywhere. Some places, people are actually taking it in stride and trying to stay in good spirits, like good Puerto Ricans do. Just try to sing, play dominoes and whatnot, and having a good time. And I really wish that was the case in every place, but it's not. Some places, that's the case in some places. Other places actually have some type of power restored, or they have a generator. So that's fantastic. And other places, people are getting held up at gunpoint to get a generator, to get gasoline, to get water, to get ice, different things. This is the situation. Yeah, I say it that way so that you understand that there's things that are happening that it's not a consistent scenario. Puerto Rico is 100 by 35 miles long. There's 78 municipalities. There's a lot of division in a small island. So the situation changes from place to place. In terms of the fuel situation, that's pretty much one of the main problems right now. Just someone trying to get gas. My father-in-law and my brother-in-law spent the better part of 13 hours trying to get gas. They didn't get gas, and then they had to try to rush to get food, and they didn't get food. So they had cereal for dinner the other day. This is a reality, and this isn't a reality of a remote place in the mountains that is, it's catastrophic. No, this is a place in the metro area, so that's pretty bad. If you want a list of things that are being collected, this is actually something that changes more than I would like. It's not a consistent list. I would like it to be more consistent, but obviously needs vary, and what is being accepted in the country varies for some reason. On a personal level, several requests. First off, be calm, as calm as you can be. Obviously, I'm wound up to the point that if you have some coal, I can get you some diamonds. But if you talk to your family, try to remain calm. Try to be supportive. Try to make them laugh. Try to bring out the best in a conversation and make those minutes worthwhile. If you're going to post something online, try for it to be either helpful information, either supportive information, or something like that. There's a lot of people that I'll talk about soon. Second request, be kind. Be kind to medical personnel. They're working around the clock to try to preserve health and save lives. It is not an easy situation. It wouldn't be an easy situation if all the hospitals worked. And right now, 30% of the hospitals are working and not at full capacity. Some are working with generators. And right now, probably the movement is to get people off the island who need drastic care. If it's someone with a delicate health status, they'll try to get them off the island to get them care for what they need. One of the more drastic cases that I saw today was a doctor that was who's an ophthalmologist, a pediatric ophthalmologist, and some babies, if they don't get the treatment that they need and are stabilized, they might go blind for life. Don't take my word for it. Search online for that, and you'll find it. Be kind to restaurant personnel. They're getting you a hot plate of food. That's something to be thankful. If you have easy access to a bunch of places, I'm happy for you. That's not the case for a lot of people. And I know that not all places are a no man's land, but there's a lot of places that it is surprising how bad it is. It is unfortunate that people are going through that, but it is what it is. Next off, be helpful. I'm trying to validate information and use something that people can use. And that's not an easy thing to do. So I'll probably stop sharing telephone numbers. Why do I mention this? Because I have shared telephone numbers for electricians, for repairmen, and for other things, but I haven't been able to verify all the telephone numbers because it's a list of about, if I take all the numbers that I found and compile it into one, it's about 80 phone numbers. And if communications are down, you can't validate if the person is really what they are. Being sold as. My recommendation is that if someone needs an electrician and you know an electrician and you have that contact and you know that person, get that. Don't put it publicly. Get that person the number directly, and do it in their inbox. In part, this is to clean up the clutter that is online, and because someone might find it super hilarious to include bogus numbers. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm saying it's a possibility, and it's a really sad possibility. I'm trying to offer as much helpful information on all social media as possible. If you've seen me on all my social media, I'm not talking about anything else. I'm sorry that I'm not the usual chill, happy-go-lucky guy that I usually am. These are not happy-go-lucky times for me. My entire family's on the island. My house took a lot of damage. Luckily, it was bad, and we did lose a lot of things. But I was able to touch base with mom again today. It was the first time that I talked to her in 3 days. And I talk to her every day. It took a category 4 or 5 hurricane to decimate an island for me to not talk to my mom every day. So, on another personal note, call your mom if you have a good relation. I do have friends that don't have the best relations with their parents, so I'm not gonna ask that from them. But if you do have good relations with your mom and your dad, give them a call and tell them that you love them. Because right now, a lot of people in Puerto Rico can't do that. There's people that still don't know if their family members are alive or not. That's a really scary prospect. Seven days after Category 4 or 5 hurricane had shifted over the island. It's a very scary prospect to know that there's people that don't know if their people are. Hi, Britt. That is the plan. I'm seriously not sure what's going on with the airport. Things should improve. Should have improved today. Should improve more tomorrow and subsequently. It's not going to return back to normal, but it should be at least more consistent and start improving drastically. There was about 500, 300 to 500 people, depends on the reports. You see conflicting numbers all the time. 300 to 500 people in the airport that were there for at least 3 nights, just trying to get off the island. And obviously that's desperate because the food runs out in the airport and the ATMs run out of cash and they don't have a credit card. So why weren't they handing out food? That's a question someone asked. That's a valid question, but I'm not one to say anything. So we'll see. In my family, about a third of it should get off the island by Monday. And that would be my wife, my mom, my brother, his wife, and 2 of my nephews. I'll try to find. Thank you for the best wishes. I'll try to find out about my other brother. I haven't been able to get into contact with him. I did ask mom and my brother and the brother I am in contact with, and fortunately they're okay. Everyone's okay. Obviously, some houses were totaled, but not to the level of other places, and that's something a lot of people do have to take into consideration. Um, and another request: no bitching. There's some people that are taking and I'm not gonna enter into that. I just had a kerfuffle with someone on Twitter. I'm a lot calmer now, but on Facebook I was still rattled. Um, Someone was asking me why I'm trying to offer so much information and being so incessant in everything that I'm offering. And some people would say that it's only because my family's there and I'm obviously worried, and that is a valid statement. But I'm seeing pictures of places that I went to surf and went to hang out and visit friends in the countryside that have been decimated. Try to imagine going to a forest that you had gone to and now knowing that there's no tree left standing. That's pretty scary. If you see Google did a $1 million donation. If you see satellite pictures of Humacao before and after the hurricane, one picture's green, the other one's brown. It's like massive deforestation from a hurricane, and it's a really weird concept to wrap your head around when you're at a distance. Um, but yeah, some people are taking to social media to criticize people. They're not helping in any way. They see a post, and obviously everyone is high strung and everyone is stressed, and I get that, obviously. But I'm not gonna tell someone to go screw themselves. The only person that I got cross with was because they were telling me vote for my picture in a contest, and I'm obviously upset. There's people. Luckily, there is good news, and there have been people that keep popping up, and just to see. Yeah, yeah. No, if you want some good entertainment, check my live video on Twitter. That you're gonna get some great entertainment because I lost it and I was cussing and some people enjoy when I cuss, and if you want to see me cussing because someone was bringing up topics that are not as important to Puerto Rico, to me as Puerto Rico, yeah, and not as important as Puerto Rico. Right? And I said it and I've repeated it, and I'm not saying that I don't understand the topic or the importance of the topic, or it's being discussed on both sides of the conversation. Because the main issue of that topic that I won't call by name is that people are having two different conversations and they're not finding common ground, or they're trying to explain and people are turning deaf ears to it. And I'm like, that's fine. Can we take a break from this a second and focus on people that are dying or that will continue dying? And people say, oh, that's so drastic, and I'm like, yeah, because it is. um, they go like, oh, it's just the pictures. It's not the pictures. I don't know how many messages I've gotten from people asking if I know anything about a town, and I don't. Do you know anything about Jauco? I have no idea. Have you heard anything from Arecibo? The people that I know in that town are okay, but I heard from a person that heard from a person that heard from a person. I haven't seen reports. I haven't seen pictures. I don't know the extent of the damage. And people say, oh, why didn't you care about Harvey? I did care about Harvey, and I did donate. And I haven't donated to Irma because Irma hit Puerto Rico and didn't give anyone a chance, and Maria didn't give anyone a chance to recover from that. I do have friends in Miami who were affected to varying degrees depending on where they lived. But you know that I have friends in Miami that got wind damage, but their homes were spared. I don't know one person in Puerto Rico who hasn't been affected significantly, or one municipality. There's 78. Try to imagine 78 municipalities, which is like 78 small cities on the island, and everyone got hit hard. Some places, super hard. People go like, yeah, but the floods in Harvey were comparable in inches, and you have to understand two things. I'm not saying it wasn't catastrophic. I know someone in Houston who lost their house. I know three people in Houston who lost their homes, flooded completely. I know one. I have a coworker whose cousin, those colonies of fire ants. She was wading through water. She didn't see it. She slammed into it, and she had to be taken to the ER because she got bitten in it. So trust me, I do care. Um, but if you're not gonna help, then just shut up. If you're gonna bitch, shut up and get out of the way. And if you're doing better, and some people are doing better, and I'm glad for them. But you know, don't ask for people to be calm while you sip on champagne or a beer, because that's the case with some people. It's like, oh my God, this is so frustrating. I only had power for like 1 hour today. You had power. You have communications. You have enough communications to bitch on your Facebook profile. And then people say, you don't understand because I'm not there. I'm like, yeah, but I have family that's there, and that none of them are using social media to bitch. Everyone's trying to be helpful. That's my take on it. And yeah, first world problems, bro. It's really sad because these situations bring out the best and the worst in people. You know, and that's the reality. As for ways that you can help, if you find information, validate it before you share it. It's easier said than done because you're so desperate to help that you click share. And I get it. I completely get it. If you're stateside and you're doing well and you have time, please talk to your senator. Write them. I've shared a boilerplate that you just have to fill in your name and address, for email and for mail. I have a script that you can use for a phone call. It makes all the difference, even if you're going to be faced with indifference. yeah, stuff like that. Well, not stuff like that. I have heard people complain about things that it's a good time to invite some people to reevaluate what matters in their lives. I think if that makes any sense. Um, but yeah, and talk to your senator. And I've said this before. I don't care about your political party or who you support or don't support or hate or love. I'm just asking for help. I'm just asking for anyone, even if it's one person that calls a senator and writes a plea and fills a request. That's progress. Small progress, but it's progress. And people keep shifting back to other topics, and I know that they're important, and I know that at these times it's something that we have to talk about. But one is talking about symbolic things, and the other one we're talking about loss of life, and in my case, loss of life of people that I know. And it's really hard to keep my cool about it, but I do my best. Every frustration or any frustration I have, to use that energy to try to help people in any way that I can. Um, in another personal take, I would like to thank David Begnot, CBS correspondent. This is the fourth time I do it tonight. I want to thank him for doing what he's doing, for keeping the spotlight as much as he can, being like the main correspondent that's on the island reporting what's going on and trying to find real stories of what's happening in different places, talking to the governor, talking to FEMA, talking to the ports, talking to people, helping people contact someone that they love. He's been flagged down I don't know how many times, and he's offered his phone so that people can call other people just so that they know. Yeah, yeah. It is what it is. And again, people say, "Oh, you don't understand it. You don't understand racial inequality." And it's like I'm a Puerto Rican living in Georgia. And by the way, I'm not Puerto Rican descent. I'm full on Puerto Rican. I got here last year. And the people from Georgia have been extremely gracious and kind and warm. And I like the only thing I don't like of where I live is that I'm too far from the beach. That's it. And that getting good coffee is a challenge. Uh, there's something about coffee in the States that if you're not in the right city, you're gonna have a rough time finding a good cup of coffee, a damn good cup of coffee, to quote the wonderful Agent Dale Cooper. But yeah, uh, by all means, do follow him on Twitter. He's got like 40,000 followers. He should have like 400,000 just for the efforts that he's doing. I'm super thankful for what he's doing. I do believe that he's being fair but firm and honest. You see some other reporters, and you can see the bias, and he's keeping his cool and trying not to get. This is a guy who's also running on fumes, and you see the sunburns on, because if you think that summertime stateside is bad, it is in some places, but in terms of heat index and UV rays, Puerto Rico is brutal. You can if you walk a couple of blocks, you can actually get a sunburn, and it actually happened to me once because I was like, oh, I want to have lunch in this place because I thought that it was a short walk away, and it wasn't. It was about a 30-minute walk, so 30 minutes and 30 minutes. That's a full hour in like noon sun. It's crazy, but yeah, and like so many instances, oh, it's crazy. So many instances. If it's not for one key reporter, we don't know the scope of what's happening. And I do believe that he's doing the best that he can to find the information that he can. Finally, this used to be full. I am doing the Humans for Puerto Rico movement. First thing I want to clear up: it's not just about Puerto Rico. I am also accepting and endorsing and encouraging people to use the hashtags Humans for Mexico, Humans for the Caribbean, and Humans for Oregon and Canada, because of the fires that ravaged them. I haven't put humans for India and Nepal yet because I haven't found any causes, donation causes that I think are worthwhile. And I even have people in Nepal and just finding the right resources to get the help that those people need is hard. So I don't want to enter into that. But basically, what I'm saying is that in life, I don't discriminate based on age, race, creed, religion, gender, um, education, or social class. So I won't discriminate on your cause. I do ask that you use those hashtags. Basically, Humans for Puerto Rico is my effort to try to create more awareness of the situation of in Puerto Rico, because I think that other topics are taking way too much attention versus this one. Why do I think Puerto Rico is more important? Because I do think it's a humanitarian crisis in the making, and we need help. Like I mentioned at the beginning, the scope of this is take Katrina, put it in the middle of the ocean, put a mountain range 4,300 feet high, and uh, limit the aid that they can receive. That's my home right now. Anyone who shares news about Puerto Rico that wants free ebooks, you can message me, send me an email or something, and I'll send you free ebooks. Between the last 3 days, I've given away about, I'd say, 45 ebooks. And people say, "Oh, but you lost that money and you could have donated it." And I'm like, right now, I just need people to talk about that. I will worry about that later. Obviously, any money I make off my books is going directly to the island. I do hope to eventually be able to do efforts for Mexico, and I do ask people to keep an eye on Mexico, because they have continued to have aftershocks and other seismic activity, and apparently a volcano might wake up, which is a scary prospect to say the least. There's various components to Humans for Puerto Rico. Exactly. The thing is that, by the way, I haven't done this in the other 3 live videos that I did, but I do want to do it on YouTube. If she sees it, then perfect. I doubt that she will see it. But my apologies to Kim Kardashian, because I was saying that Kim Kardashian's ass gets more attention than Puerto Rico, which might still be true. But thanks to her, she spread the word and offered a picture that captures the despair of the situation in several places. Um, So my thanks to Kim Kardashian. I never thought I would ever say that sentence out loud. Kim, if you ever see this and want free books, say the word. Um, just a bizarre turn of events that I would say that comment and see her offer support, which means a lot. Actually, it means a lot that someone that I've actually bashed so much during the years, and I kind of feel shitty about it because whatever. But that she shows concern for my home country while other people don't give a shit. It's pretty it's pretty weird. Um, a pleasant part of the weird part, but still weird nonetheless. Although the full information of Humans for Puerto Rico are on my blog, and yeah, and ass opening. I had to do one more day. That's the last Kim Kardashian rib I do. Um, but the Humans for Puerto Rico initiative, it's mine. I'm not a non-profit organization or anything. People say, "Oh, can I donate money?" And I'm like, "Here are the causes that you can donate. I'm not a middleman. I don't want money. I don't want people to donate money to me. They've asked me, and I've said these causes seem legit. I'm trying to validate the best ones that I think can put the resources to best use, or that I'm seeing in action, and I go, that one." I have shared. That's actually the pinned post on my Facebook page. I will try to have a blog post with all the links to different areas that might help people better organize. That's gonna take time, but I might need to take a break from videos because I'm still rattled from Twitter. Um, Quick rundown of Humans for Puerto Rico. Firstly and foremostly, thank you to all the indie authors that were okay with me changing the focus of the giveaway. Originally, it was to celebrate different milestones like 600 followers here, 400 followers there, 6,000 here, 700 there, stuff like that. 100,000 views on my blog, so on and so forth. Uh, and it shifted to try to raise awareness and help people. So basically, it has several components. First component, the grand prize. Anyone in the states that donates even $1 to any cause for Mexico, Puerto Rico, the Caribbean, Oregon and Canada, or Houston or Florida, I won't discriminate. People say, "Oh, but Florida's going to get 8 and Houston already got 15 billion." I know that, but I'm not going to discriminate, and you're doing it for a good cause. If you donate $1, I just need evidence that you made that donation, and I will send you. Uh, by the way, you'll get free ebooks just for participating. But if you send me that information, you'll also be entered to win a giveaway of 10 indie books, physical books. You will get a package. You will get an Estrada crate, let's say. You will get 7 from other authors and 3 from me, whichever 3 you want. It could be the novels, the poetry, or whatever. I'll send that along gladly. Second and third components are second and third prizes, which are open to the world. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you make any donation of any amount, you will enter a raffle to win. I think it's 10 free ebooks for the second tier, and 8 ebooks in the third tier. I'm not sure, but the information is on the blog. On my blog. My blog is jdestradawriter.blogspot.com. And the blog post the link to that leads to that is probably on Facebook and Twitter and several other places. The latest development is that anyone internationally that donates $100 or more will enter a raffle to win all 10 of my books signed, sealed, and delivered wherever you live. If you live in Antarctica, I'll foot the bill for the shipping. I don't care. I just want people to help and to be active and to care. And finally, if we get 10,000 mentions of Humans for Puerto Rico or Humans for whatever, I will put all my ebooks free for 6 months. The due date for that is, let's say, the end of October. If by the end of October we've managed 10,000 shares of Humans for Puerto Rico or Humans for Mexico, Humans for other stuff, I don't know how to measure that, and I'll do my best. If it feels like that, if it feels even close to that, I'll put my books for free for 6 months. This is my way of saying that I don't care about the money. I don't care about the fame. I'm not saying JD Estrada for Puerto Rico. I don't care. There's some people that are doing. Luckily, they're doing things, but they're doing things mugging for the camera and whatever floats your boat and drives you to action. But that doesn't drive me. Helping someone that needs help and getting any type of attention to Puerto Rico is what drives me. To help my family, my friends, and my home. Anyways, I've rambled for close to 40 minutes, but if anyone has any questions that you think I can answer, ask away. If not, I'm on Twitter. I'm on. You can leave it in the comments here. You can write me on Twitter. You can write me on Facebook. If it's something that you think I already answered, by all means, check all my Facebook. It's gone from indie author page to basically UNICEF. But that's the way that I'm coping with all of this situation. I have a lot of energy. I have a lot of stress. I do have a lot of anxiety because a lot of people are in need. A lot of people need help, and I see people care about other topics more than others. And rather than lash out at those people, I want to try to focus on staying positive, on making a difference, on helping someone. So yeah. Anyways, I'm trying, Brit. I'm gonna I'm gonna actually be doing a Hurricane Maria book tag, in hopes that other booktubers try to help me get awareness of it, because I love booktube and I love the community, but I can't even bring myself to watch like a haul or a tag. And there's a bunch of videos that look fascinating and a lot of people that I wanna catch up with, but I just can't at this time. I'll try to be in a good mood for that tag, to so that people get motivated to do it. Um, but part of me is really really feeling this entire ordeal. It's a really it took a category 4 or 5 hurricane for me to not talk to mom every day, and I was able to talk to her today, and that was nice. And I've been able to talk to my wife more because she has AT&T. My mom doesn't have AT&T. She has a different carrier that was affected a lot more. But I've been able to talk to mom and to my family. There's some people that still haven't been able to talk to their family, and I just trying to imagine what that feels like. I can't even begin to imagine. So, and other people have tagged me in other things, but it's just not in me, man. It's just not in me. Maybe when I have mom here and my wife, I can calm down a bit and smile a bit easier. But it's really hard. It's really hard, and just to get to talk to them, I can't even describe just the relief that the damn call connected. And people don't get it, and they think other things matter more right now. So sorry if I disagree, man, but I do completely. The guy on Twitter was like, "So you don't care about racial inequality?" And just he was full on trolling. And it got to a point where I stopped looking at the monitor because I just couldn't see his comments. Complete asshole. And there are people like that, and they're entitled to their opinion, by the way. And I'm entitled to mine and to do whatever I can. Oh, by all means, Britt. If you, I think it makes for it makes for an interesting view, and I know that it's saturating to watch my tired ass face keep talking, but go to like 10 minutes in, and you'll see me go at him. Um, and I don't like going at people. I don't like um, unless it's a life or death situation. I don't see the value in attacking. To defend yourself, of course, but to attack other people, no. And on more than one occasion, I said that I understand, and I do understand the situation. And I do understand what's being discussed on both sides of the equation. Um, I do think that the perception is a bit warped, but I don't want to talk about that. I do want to keep talking about Puerto Rico and have anyone that can talk about Puerto Rico do so. We're living in times where people have a really short term memory in terms of disaster, because so much stuff happens on a month by month basis. Um, if you think of the Boston Marathon, you think of Sandy Cook. Um, these awful events weren't even 5 years ago. If you think of the tsunami, that was 12 years ago. That feels like an eternity, but try to imagine the people in India and Indonesia. And I always felt for those type of people and in their situation. I felt kind of bad. And yeah, 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 yeah. I agree. Um, going back, I felt bad. I wanted to help. I made donations for all those causes and all those situations. Um, but I didn't understand what they felt, and now I have a better idea. Because basically, I'm gonna have to uproot mom from her home in Puerto Rico because although I thought the damage was a lot more severe, but it was just to half the house. But pretty much, I'm not. I don't think that my house is livable right now, where I spent 19 years of my life, where mom has spent 26 years of her life. And it's not that, oh yeah, I'm a messiah or whatever. It's just that the distance makes you feel so impotent, and you want to help. Um, and then you see that it's not even a news bleep, and it hurts. It hurts to see a lot of people not care. You know, I would take two knees for Puerto Rico. I've thought about doing it, but do I have to get to that point? Do I have to go to a Falcons game with a cardboard that says "I take two knees for Puerto Rico" just for people to care? And yeah, she's okay, and I'll see her hopefully on Monday, and I'll be able to hug her and get her the care that she needs, physical, emotional, and psychological. I will be. I was in touch with a family member who's a psychologist, and I did ask her for resources to offer people because a lot of people are going to get off the island, but they're going to need help. I've been in at least four hurricanes, and the perception of what it is to survive a hurricane, I think everyone has their definition completely, you know, rewritten after this. You know, to see a complete bridge just gone, to see towns gone. So yeah, I do hope that things do stabilize and people are okay so that I can go back to my happy-go-lucky ways and do tags and stuff. I might do tags to try to distract myself, but right now everything's really fresh and everything's hurting intensely. And I'm worried. I'm worried of a lot of people that I still haven't heard of. And to hear people bitching about, oh, the government's doing a shit job, man, they're doing the best that they can. People are saying like it's an ideal scenario. It's not. It's a damn catastrophe. Anyways, I'm gonna head out. Yeah, everyone does need time, and everyone's gonna need something different. Nothing about this is ideal, but some people are going like and going back to talking politics. It's not a time for politics. It's a time to help each other out, man. That's why I missed the opportunity of 50 sales, and that's why I missed the opportunity. Someone actually said that, oh, you could have gotten that money and donated it. And I'm like, what's more important? Because if I put it at 99 cents, Amazon keeps 70%. So that would have been 50 times 30. So yeah, $15. I could have donated $15. Or I could have gotten 50 people to talk about Puerto Rico. What do you think is worth more right now? So yeah, I'll be doing that tag. I'll hopefully be a lot more chill. But yeah, if you have any question, by all means, write me. You have my Twitter. I believe that everyone's selfish until they're touched by this. I'm actually gonna post something that I did today. I did mention that it's not just humans for Puerto Rico. I am focusing on that now because I don't think that it's getting covered in the media nearly as much. And Although I do support other causes, my main cause for Puerto Rico is that we depend on the U.S. for aid, and I need people to care. And it's tough. It's tough to get people to care. But today I saw an old guy, old black man, by the way, called Victor. Um, Homeless, has about half his teeth still in his mouth. And I passed him by, and I was with my headphones, and I nodded as acknowledging him. I saw him with a big cup of coffee. A, what's the middle one? Grande. I can't keep track of these bullshit names. Yeah, tall grande. He had like a grande coffee. And I took like an extra 4 steps, and then I stopped, and I was like, because I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm shell shocked of all that I'm living and trying to help. But I asked him, "Have you had lunch?" And he said no. And I'm like, "Do you want to have lunch?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "The closest place to here is Chick-fil-A. Do you want Chick-fil-A?" And he's like, "Yeah, I love that." And I'm like, "What do you want?" I didn't say, "Oh, I'll get you food," and got him whatever. He's like, "You just get me the chicken sandwich and a Sprite if it's not too much trouble." And I was like, "Sure." And do you want fries with that? And he's like, "No, no, no, you don't have to worry about that." And I'm like, "I'm not worrying. I'm offering." And he was like, "Yeah." And no, he didn't say yeah. He said, "Don't worry about the fries." So basically, I got two number ones at Chick-fil-A. And the only difference between his order and mine is that I had Dr. Pepper and he had Sprite. Because even if it's for a meal, even if it's for a moment, you know, as humans, we're equal. And I kept the receipt, and the Humans for Puerto Rico thing will eventually be humans for humans, and just me trying to create awareness of people that need help and that aren't heard. Humans for equality. Yes, I agree. And I didn't do it for me, and I didn't take a picture of Victor, and I didn't take my, no, it's not. I see the impact of that, and I'm telling you the story. But I hope that someday he gets back on his feet and he can tell, one time this kid with a kind of grungy face got me Chick-fil-A. And he fist bumped me. I didn't shake his hand because in the office there's a bunch of people with a cold, and I didn't want to get him sick. Um, I'm like, the last thing I want to be kind, but I don't want to be contagious. But I did give him a fist bump, um, and I do remember his name, which I think a lot of people should do. You know, I saw like 5 people passing by. I was going to be the sixth, and something in me said, "Ask him if he needs something to eat." He said, "Yeah." I was gonna have like what, an $11 lunch, and instead I had like a $5 lunch. I spent the same amount of money that I would have spent, but I shared it with someone else. To make me a hero or anything? No, it just means that I give a fuck. And that I saw someone, and something in me, because of everything that has me rattled, said ask, and I did. I didn't wonder, and I didn't tweet about it, and I didn't put a Facebook post. Oh, I saw this person, and it made me no. I asked. And that's all it takes. Asking and action. So, yeah. Who knows? If ever I make it as an author, I'll do Humans for Productions or something. Not a bad idea. Yeah. And if anyone wants to do it, do it. Don't wonder. Don't ask yourself if you want to help someone, do it. Obviously, be careful. Don't go into a shady neighborhood to say, "Oh, I want to help people." No, but if you see someone, if you live in San Francisco, you see a lot of people on the street, and you might become desensitized to it. In Puerto Rico, it happened, but I bought many a meal in Puerto Rico. Once I'm gonna say these two things, and I'll shut the hell up because this is way too long. Um, I saw a guy. Obviously, he's not in the best health condition. I was like, would you like something to eat? And he's like, actually, I need a packet of Ensure because of my condition. And he later confessed that he had HIV. I took my meds and I can't stomach much food. And I'm like, don't worry, is there any flavor that you prefer? And his reaction was like, I'm like, yeah, what flavor? It was like vanilla. And I'm like, you got it. And I got him vanilla. And on another occasion, actually a guy outside of Taco Bell in the San Patricio area. I went Irish there. San Patricio area asked me if I could spare some change for food, and I'm like, I can buy you the food. And on occasions, I've given people money because I know that they need drugs because it's an unfortunate reality, and I'm not there to judge. And if I had information of where they could get rehab, I would send it. But in Puerto Rico, it's not that efficient. When you have a conversation with an addict and they tell you that you try to break an addiction cold turkey with 2 Tylenol, you go like, okay, here's $3. I'm not happy with what you're gonna do, but I know that you know I'd rather give you the $3 than you hold someone up. Try to get some help. And actually, one of them, my best friend actually knew a guy. I forgot his name. I think it was Greg. Played wicked guitar, bum in San Juan. And I do hope that he got help and got off the island because he was trying to get off. He was a really smart guy. He was trying to get off the island. But anyways, back to Taco Bell. The guy was like, "Well, if you don't mind, the most economic thing." And I'm like, "No, whatever you want on the menu." And he was like, and I'm like, I come to Taco Bell. It was when I was in college, so I would go often. No, actually, in advertising. I was 25 at the time. I was in DLC. So yeah, I was 25. And I asked them, what do you want? And he's like, just some food. And I'm like, are you looking for something more filling? Are you not that hungry? And he's like, man, I'm pretty hungry. And I'm like, I think the best option for something that's filling, but you won't feel bloated. And just to have that conversation, the guy was like, I wanted food, not options. And it was pretty funny, but a cool moment because I was able to get him a meal and I paid in cash, so I was able to give him $2 for bus fare, and I never saw that guy again. But I did see another guy that I gave a meal, and he did remember me, and he was like, "I don't have to ask you because you helped me out the other day," and I'm like, "Yeah, but if I can help, ask." And it's just small things, and I mention it occasionally to try to to give the message that helping someone out it is quite a good thing. And it's not that, oh my God, it makes me feel good. It's someone needs help and you can help. You don't need a medal. So yeah. So a full on hour. It took me that to come down from Twitter hell. Anyways, Britt, thank you so much for sticking around. Again, if you have any question, or if you want to chat, I hope you're doing well. I did see someone the other day with a packet of the Korean fire noodles, and I could only think about you. I think it was the Korean fire noodles. Um, anyways, thanks. Exactly. I thought I could only think about you. It was hilarious. I hope you don't ever eat those again. Just good wholesome noodles. Anyways, I'll end with that bit of tongue in cheek. If you have any questions or you want to say hi, by all means, check me on social media. If you want to see me go off the rails on someone, check the live feed on Twitter. Some people. No, no, no! Don't do it! Don't do it! Don't do it! I saw you. It was because after the pain inflicted with the mucus. Um, I think what worried me most about your reaction while eating it was when you're like, it's no, no, you're like, it's like I have fire in my stomach, and I'm like, oh, that has to feel so bad. Anyways, let's finish on that cheeky, silly anecdote. Guys, if you've never seen that, by all means, Brit was leaving comments. Uh, your handle on YouTube is Girl on Kindle Fire. She's on my small booktuber recommendations. She's good people, and I'm really fond of her. So thank you for sticking around for a full hour, for me waffling, and just letting me at least feel as if I'm doing a difference. So much love to you and anyone who cares. Thank you for spreading the word. Remember, you can get free books. Remember, you can get free ebooks. Until next time, peace, love, and mock your rolls.